Hey, Ramsey Faraj here. Welcome to the Top Agent Achievers Podcast. Here's the podcast where we share strategies and tips that are working for agents right now. We also interview top agents in the marketplace. Today I'm sharing an amazing strategy, and it is how to overcome the 4 objections that are holding people back from moving forward from buying or selling a home. See, as a real estate agent, it's your job to actually help clients make the decision that's in their best interest, which usually is to go ahead and purchase or buy or sell their home, usually. If it is, you need to be the professional and know what they're thinking and what's stopping them from moving forward. I'm going to share the top 4 things that are stopping them and what you say to get them to see why it makes sense to move forward. I'm telling you, you want to listen to this a few times over and over so you can internalize what I'm sharing today, so that when your client is thinking this or you sense it's what's holding them back, boom, you're there with the answer to get them to move forward with what's best for them. So again, let's get started on the top 4 objections. Number 1, hey, I don't want to give up my low rate and sell now. Maybe you've heard that one before, right? Well, here's the thing you have to remember with that. The average homeowner has all-time highs in the amount of equity locked up in their home. They also have all-time highs in consumer debt that are huge high interest rates because of what's happening with inflation and interest rates on credit cards and consumer debt. So oftentimes it makes more sense for them to sell the house. They can pay off the debt, get rid of all those high interest credit card payments and other payments, and their new house payment still have money left over for the down payment, and their new house payment would be lower than their old house payment was combined with the consumer debt. And you can show them examples on their own specific situation, or if you send them to someone like myself, I've been doing mortgages for 29 years, I can show that client exactly what those numbers look like, and almost every time it makes sense for them to drop the low rate, to sell and to buy the house that meets their needs, and not just be stuck in a mortgage because, oh, the rate is lower, but the rest of their whole finances, it does not fit into that puzzle to make sense for them and their family. Hope that makes sense. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to wait for rates to come down. I hear that a lot. Well, here's the thing. It's a guessing game on when or if they will come down, number 1. But let's say they do. Let's say they come down. Let's say they come down by 2% in the next 12 months. Well, on a $250,000 priced home, 2% would save that family $3,120 for the year. Well, if we're expecting homes to appreciate by 5%, you can even go lower, but let's just say it's 5%, that $250,000 house is going to cost $12,500 more a year from now. So does it make sense to wait because you might save $3,100 in interest, but you're going to pay $12,500 more for the home? Also, if you wait a year and rates do drop, like you said, right, there's no guarantee that you're going to actually come out ahead. In fact, it's more likely you're not going to come out ahead. Does that make sense? Because again, the amount that you're going to save in interest is way smaller than the amount the price is probably going to go up on that home. The other thing to keep in mind you want to share with your clients is, hey, when rates drop, there's going to be a flood of buyers who are waiting for rates to drop. They're all going to jump in the market. It's going to raise prices even higher on those homes. So any way you slice it, it does not make sense to wait for rates to drop before you buy. Buy today, ride the appreciation that's going up. Whenever rates do come down, we can refinance you on a low-cost refinance, right? And you can take advantage of that lower rate, but now you're doing it at a lower price that you were able to purchase the home. So hope that makes sense. Some people say date the rate, marry the house. Bottom line is, listen to this, and if you go to YouTube, you can actually see the slides, or better yet, if you leave me a review on the podcast and you send me a message, you can text me at 248-613-9044. I'll send you this entire PowerPoint, okay? Now, number 3, I'm waiting for prices to come down. I'm waiting for prices to come down. That's the 3rd objection. Well, here's the thing. Some people think because prices went up so much in 2020 and 2021 that there's no way they can continue to go up. Well, history tells us otherwise. From 1943 to 1947, prices went up by 118%. After that huge jump in those years, guess how many years it went up after that? It went up for 43 straight years after that. 43. And in 1974 to 1979, values went up by 93%. They continued to go up for 10 more years after that. And get this, I ask people all the time, how many times do you think rates have gone down in the last 80 years? And I hear all kinds of guesses. Well, the answer is 7. They've only gone down 7 years. And of those 7 years, 5 of them were from 2007 to 2011, where we had a huge mortgage collapse and the economy was collapsing. It was chaos, and that was a very unusual situation. You take those 5 years out, it would be only 2 years in the last 80. So we're not likely to see prices come down. There's also low inventory. There's an inventory shortage because there's been fewer homes built these past years than normal, and that's continuing to be fewer homes built than typical, which is causing a shortage in homes, which is also going to keep prices up. Finally, there's a group out there called the millennials. There's 72 million of these people. U.S. News and World Reports did an article or a survey, and 67% of them said they'd like to buy in the next 12 to 24 months. So you have all these millennials want to buy houses. You have a shortage of homes, right? You have the fact that houses have not dropped. House prices have only gone down 7 times in the last 80 years. It is not a great bet to be waiting for prices to come down, right? And that's why it makes more sense to buy if it makes sense to buy. Ride the appreciation, because over time that house is going to go up in value, and it's way more likely that it's going to continue to go up with maybe a very tiny speed bumps than to drop dramatically. So another thing I hear is, I don't want to pay over asking price. Well, if you think about it, let's say they're having to pay an extra $3,000. I'm just making round numbers on a $100,000 home. Well, if that house is going to appreciate by 3 to 5%, that house is going to go up by that amount. They're going to break even in a year or less anyways. But if they wait, they're just going to pay that much more money for the next house if they can even find one because of the shortage. So if people love the house, it makes no sense to lose it because you have to pay an extra $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 when you're going to make that up in appreciation anyways. Also, the minimal amount it changes their payment is really negligible. That's why I like to get involved as the lender to help the client understand, hey, this is how much the payment's changing. Hey, here's what we're thinking the house is going to go up in value by, probably. So, if you don't want to move forward, that's fine, but just know this is only costing you X amount per month, and there's a very, very good chance if you wait, whenever you do find another house you like, it's going to cost that much more anyways. So I hope that makes sense. Hey, I really appreciate you. If you could do me a favor, I'd really appreciate it. Is if you're listening, wherever you're listening to this podcast, if you could take a minute and leave me a 5-star review, or just a review, an honest review. I hope it's 5 stars, but an honest review, I'd really appreciate that. If you leave me a review and then just send me a text message to 248-613-9044, then I will send you this PowerPoint presentation. And if you want to check it out on YouTube, you can do that too at Top Agent Achievers on YouTube. Really appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Internalize your script so you can go sell more homes and get more people making the right decision for them and their family. Thanks.